Hello, welcome everyone. Today we will discuss current asset management using the book of Foundation of Financial Management, 18th edition. This presentation, this slides, PPT owned by Block, Hurt, and Danielson. It's owned copyrights by McGraw-Hill. Okay, we're gonna start now. There's a number of learning objectives here. We're gonna go discuss one by one. Recall the current asset management, which involve the management of cash, marketable security, account receivable, inventory. This is a very important part of of the company. If they are in excess of cash or marketable security, anything like that in the current asset side, as well as current asset management, as well as make sure there's enough liquidity. Explain what is involved in cash management. Explain what is involved in the management of marketable securities. Details the requirement of account receivable management. Determine the level of inventory necessary to enhance sales and profitability. Understand that less liquid of an asset is the higher the required of the return. So this is very basically a simple learning objective. Let's start the chapter opening here. A company is managed the current asset well. In establishing a competitive advantage, it helps increase market shares, creates and increases shareholders' value through rising stock prices. The best example of the company that has managed current asset well are Toyota. Toyota have created in the 80s, they created what we call is just-in-time inventory system, whereby the inventory is basically zero. They are able to remove the inventory cost, carrying costs substantially, and beat American um, car companies. Okay, we will discuss this later on. Companies that manage current asset well establish a competitive advantage, that's for sure. Help increase the market share that has happened in Toyota. Creates an increased shareholder value through rising stock prices. That's what happens already in the past, such as Toyota price goes up to the roof. Excuse me. It requires a careful allocation of resources among current assets of the firm, such as cash, marketable security, account receivable, and inventory. If you have an excess cash, you want to make sure that cash as well as account receivable and inventory are utilized at the maximum level in terms of profitability. Okay, managing cash and market primary concern is safety and liquidity. Make sure when you have an excess of cash, safety and liquidity is number one. Secondary is the maximizing of profitability. And then in terms of managing receivable inventory, investment levels should be resolved of happenstance and historical informations must meet same return of investment criteria applied to any decision making. Some company factoring their account receivable to receive cash at a faster pace. This is many happens in mortgage industry, okay, and also other high turnover AR kind of companies. And then different decision technique applied to various form of current assets. All right, let's move on. Financial manager attempt to keep non-asset to minimum. Why? Is because it's key to have sufficient cash for emergency. Remember, cash is king, and if you do not have enough cash, you won't be able to operate sufficiently and efficiently. To improve overall profitable firm, minimize the cash balances, have accurate knowledge and when cash move in and out of the firm. Okay, excuse me. In terms of transaction balances, payment towards planned expenses must be forecasted accurately. Compensation balance for bank, compensation bank for service provided rather than paying directly to them. There's also precautionary needs. There's emergency purpose when cash inflow are less than projected. There's an important seasonal and cyclical industry. That's also very clear. This is the function of a treasury department in the company usually. Cash moves in through a firm on a daily, weekly, as well as monthly cycle. It relies on payment of pattern customer, speed at which suppliers and creditors process checks, efficiency of the banking system. It can have provide inflow and outflow of the cash that must be synchronized and properly for the transaction processes. Okay, right. Cash inflow different by sale influenced by the type of customer geographical locations, product being sold, as well as the industry itself. Okay, it's different industry has a different way of cash inflow. Okay, That's the key part. Food industry has a much faster, usually, especially in the restaurant business, it must have a faster turnover. For example, restaurant usually T plus one or T plus zero, okay? Or sometimes the maximum is T plus 30. Depends on the customer. If this corporate account, maybe the maximum is T 30, is T plus 30. Firm use cash to make various payments, such as interest to lenders, dividend to stakeholders, tax to government, account payable to suppliers, as well as wages to worker and replace inventory. Customers, it goes to the sales, go to account receivable here. When you collect, you sell it to Samosa. You're gonna, let's say it's on account. Once it become account receivable, when the customer pay, become cash. When the cash coming in, you're gonna supply again your inventory. You buy your inventory, and then go around in the cycle side of this diagram. And then in terms of expanded cash flow, sales here, there is the same kind of cycle. Geographical area, sales by geographical area, product division, and customer type. Accounts receivable ranges from 0 to 120 days. And then you go to the cash. Cash can be marketable security and interest dividend, short-term lenders here, back and forth, such as commercial bank, non-bank lenders, foreign bank and lenders. And then go to cash such as government taxes. You need to pay taxes. Make sure there, if you do not pay taxes, there's a penalty. There's a federal income taxes, state and provincial and local tax and other taxes. And then also there's supplies that you're gonna have to buy, such as account payable in terms of suppliers, labor, wages payable, other expenses, and inventory after that. Finished goods, goods in process, and raw material. So it's more expanded process, but the origin is the same. Your first slide here is the base. If it is an expander, it's going to be like this. Okay. The critical function of financial manager is managing a cash inflow and payment outflow. You have to make sure the cash flow cycle affected by collection mechanisms such as lockboxes, US mail system, as well as internal sales. Okay, in the US, the most popular is the Swiss system, banking Swiss system, but we are slowly moving out of the Swiss system. There is a setup by the BRICS because the BRIC nation is slowly moving out of the Swiss system or US dollar. There's the denominations. BRICS are a country called Brazil, China, India, Russia, and South Africa. Okay, that is the one that is promoting the non-dollarization of the cash flow. Excuse me. The difference between firm recorded amount of the amount credited to the firm bank. There are two types of float, which is mail float, which is occur when the time mail takes to be delivered, or clearing floats occur when the time check takes to be cleared. Okay, a small business and individual encounter this most often, and large corporations avoid these two flows because of widespread use of electronic. Most people are using now Interac Transfer or Zelle in the US, but in Canada we'll use Interac. Depends where it is. Now is the most common one is EFT, Electronic Fund Transfer. Check clearing in the 21st century allow banks and others to electronically process the check. Float eventually will be eliminated together. That is what's going on in the industry now. Improving collections, setting up multiple collection centers at different locations, adopt lockbox system for faster clearance at lower costs, extended disbursement such as General and speed up the processing income checks, slow down the payment procedures as well. In terms of cost-benefit analysis, disbursements from the use of remote collection and disbursement center involve additional costs. Expenses must be compared to benefits that may accrue to use of these operations. Okay. All right. Let's go back to make sure this is covered to the previous slide, and then go back to the next one. There's a cash management network from collection center. Each of the center, there will be regional banks. On this one, there's going to be wire transfer, going to be corporate banks here in the headquarters, reduce remittance in terms of 1.5 days, increase by 1 day, 2.5 days, free up cash balance, as well as the non-federal reserve city bank and disbursement center. So in terms of daily basis, to give you an idea, 2.5 days feed up, like say time 2 million average cash movement per day, which is 5 million available funds. This is an example of your cash management network. Okay, funds move between computer terminal via the user check. Reduce flow through the use of terminal communication between store and banks. Automatically charge against bank account before leaving the store. There's an automated clearinghouse, ACH, transfer information between financial institutions and between accounts using computer tape. The fastest growing area will be P2P transfer. For international transfer is SWIFT. We call it Society for World Interbank Financial Communication. There's a proprietary key messaging system, encrypt each messages, authenticate every money transaction, assume liability for accuracy, completeness, confidence, and transaction. Again, this is SWIFT, a US dollar-based system, so it's a USA denomination. So when there's a war in Ukraine, the Swiss and Russian is banned from using this by most of the countries. So they are moving slowly into the non denomination US dollar Swiss system. So China has they have their own system as well, but 80% of the banking system are done through SWIFT system at the moment. 13-year SwiftNet internet message traffic to give you an actual what's going on here. Okay, the SWIFT system. Okay. International cash management versus domestic based system. Payment method differ from country to country, subject to international boundaries and time zone, as well as currency fluctuation, interest rate changes. Each bank has its own system. So each country has its own system. That's basically what's the right words. Okay, like Canada, the transfer using Interac for each other for the common goods, but we are mostly follow the Swiss system because of we are very closely connected. Our economy closely connected to the US. Okay, in China is a different one. They have a different account banking system. Differing account balances, management, information, as well as reporting system. There's culture, tax, and accounting differences. Hold back cash balances in one currency versus another, take advantage of high interest rate. Financial managers try to keep cash in country with strong currency. Sweep account allows company to maintain zero balances, access cash, swap in terms interest account. There is marketable securities. Fund that's held for other immediate transaction purpose should be invested in interest-bearing securities. So yeah, when the company have an excess cash, let's say 1 billion or 2 billion, they usually go into the short-term investment. What are the short-term investments that can be invested? The list are here. Treasury bills, federal agency securities, certificate deposits, commercial papers, banking acceptance, euro dollar certificate of deposit, passbook saving account, money market accounts, as well as money market funds. Okay, and then an examination in terms of yield and maturity characteristic for short-term security will be here between 2 to 3%. Is long-term is much higher for government because of the yield interest rate side. So the time maturity increases, the yield will be increases. For a short-term one will be much lower side. Excuse me. Give you an idea in the table in terms of the yield from March 20 in the 80s to the 21. Okay, treasury bill. This is government treasury bill from 3 to 6 months, $100 for example. Safety marketability excellent 14.9, 13.0. And most of the treasury bill in the 80s and the 90s and as well as now is invested by the Chinese government, but the Chinese government is slowly divesting their treasury bill to reduce the exposure to the US dollar. This is what's going on at the moment. Many of the BRIC nations, they are slowly divesting to treasury bill because of the worry of the sanction. Because US has a tendency to sanctions countries that do not follow their policy. Okay, so in terms of the government securities, there's a certificate deposit here from commercial banks, banker acceptance, money market to money market account. So this depends on the minimum amount. There's a minimum amount here. For example, citizen 100,000 here. In terms of safety material is good. Okay, there's also the one that is poor. Deposit here for my career is poor. So these are the things for the down government. You have to look at this and examine, analyze very, very thoroughly. And punishable as an investment based on whether the return is equal to the actual potential gain from other investment. The thing is, and the credit policy administration has three primary policy variable to consider, such as credit standard, term of trade, collection policy. Okay, there's also rating agencies such as S&P, Moody's. Those are the rating agencies that give rating to the bond side or debt. Financing growth in terms of account receivable from market to security return, let's say 8% here. Inventory is 10% for go return. Account receivable 12%. Compare cost 7.5%. Bank loan about 7%. So what are the things that we're gonna do? Determine the credit standard, the nature of credit based on the prior records of payment, financial stability, current net worth, and other related factors. That's basically based on the credit history. What are the 5 C's? Whether the loan will be paid on time, late or not called. There's 5 C. The first one is character, the second one is capital, third one is capacity, fourth one is condition, and the lastly is collateral. Those are the 5 C's of credit to make sure to be paid on time. DBS, which is DBIS, Dun and Bradstreet Information System, the most prominent source of business information, produce business information analytical tool, publish reference book, provides computer access, assign data in terms of universal code, DUNS, and unique 9-digit code for each business information base, and used to track the whole family of company to the ownership. Okay, in terms of printing example here, this is the DUNS numerical tracking system from Apex Graphic, Universal Printing. You get all see here Brown in US as well as Cargo, Transfer International, PTY in Australia, all its subsidiary in Japan. So it has been printed based on the DUNS system. Okay. In terms of trade, shared terms of credit extension have a strong impact on eventual size of account, receivable balance, and cash need for firm to reduce use of cash of the account. In terms of collection policy, a number of quantity measures are available to assess credit policy. In terms of our collections, average collection period is an increase that will increase a poor credit administration. Average collection, the logic is account receivable divided by average daily credit sales. The ratio of bad debt to credit sales, an increasing ratio may indicate too many weak account on aggressive market expense policy, and you need to also check the aging account receivable. Okay. Actual credit decision, bring together the various element account in receivable management. Example, here are the detail of the sample. Okay. You get additional sales 100,000, taxes 220, income after tax 480, all the way 10% here. So your account receivable here, sales 10,000 coming from here, turnover 6 times. You got 1667. Okay, you count 10% of sales. Account increments we are 9,000 here in incremental. Collection cost is 500, 5%. Production selling cost 77%. Annual income tax is 800. Taxes is 40%. Annual income tax is 480. It looks like it's a Canadian-based company here. It's a 40% tax. And the average investment of 1667 is fetching an after-tax return of 480, which is approximately 88.8%. Inventory has a 3 basic category, which is the 3 raw materials, which is used in products, work in process, which is partially completed products, finished good, which is ready for sales. Amount of inventory affected by sales, production, economic conditions. Okay, inventory is the least liquid of current asset and should provide the highest yield. In terms of production level, allow maximum of efficiency in the manpower and as well as machinery usage may result in high inventory build-up costs before shipment, and particularly in seasonal business. Seasonal production, for example, eliminate the inventory build-up problems, may result in unused capacity during slack periods, may result in overtime wages and inefficiency, and rising out of overused equipment. The most seasonal product is like Christmas stuff, Christmas or Christmas decorations, or let's say like Thanksgiving decorations, and then Valentine decoration. These are the seasonal product. Okay. Inventory position can be protected by environment and price instability by taking moderate inventory positions, hedging future contract to sell at stipulated prices some months from now. Okay, that can you hedge it as well. Rapid price movement in inventory may have a major impact on the reported income of the firm. Take a sip of water here. There's 2 basic inventories. Cost associated with inventory. The first one is carrying cost. The second one is called ordering cost. The carrying cost is interest on funds tied up on inventory, cost of the warehouse or space, associated, such as insurance premium and material handling expenses, as well as an implicit cost associated with risk obsolescence and pressure of the price change. And as well as there's an ordering cost here, the cost of ordering, cost of processing inventory to stock. So this is basically carrying the inventory is quite high because you have to do all this carrying costs and ordering costs. This is an example of the optimal inventory level. There's a total cost here at the top. The M 400 size equilibrium is 80, carrying cost is all the way up 45 degree, and ordering cost is based on sliding scale. So based on the logic here, EOQ is equal to SO divided by C. Sales is total sales is unit. O is ordering cost for each product. C is the carrying cost. Assuming S is 2000, so you're going to plug in the number, you get $400. Alright, this is an example EOQ system, 400. On average of order size is 200. Okay, this is a typical 200 unit average inventory based on a 400 order size EOQ. Total cost inventory, ordering 2000 by 400, which is 5 orders. For 8,000 is $40. Carrying cost will be 200 times 0.2 is 40. Ordering cost will be 40. Carrying cost is 40. Total cost is 80. This is how you're going to calculate. Okay, based on the 2000 ordering. Per order size will be 400, 5 orders times 8, $40 per order. So you're gonna calculate here based on one ordering, carrying cost, and order cost, and which is adding up to total cost. Stock out occurs when firm is out of specific inventory item, unable to sell or deliver the product. Safety stock of inventory reduce the risk of losing sales. Increase of inventory due to the rising in carrying cost. Cost should be offset by everything that lost profit to stock out, increase the profit from the unexpected order. So look at the EOQ 400 units, safety stock is 50, 400 divided by 2 plus 50, so average inventory should be this much. Okay, 200 plus 50 to 50. Okay, the inventory carrying cost will now increase to $50. Carrying cost, inventory in unit times carrying cost per unit, 250 times 20, which is 50. This is how you're gonna get the carrying cost. Remember here, 400 divided by safety is 2 times 50. Now increase by 50. Once you get this 250 number, you got multiply by 2 cents, 20 cents. You got $50. Basically, if you come for just inventory management, GIT is invented by Toyota. As I mentioned to you in the earlier, it's a quality production that continues to satisfy customer requirements. It has a close ties among suppliers, manufacturers, and customers, minimize the level of inventory. Cost saving from low inventory. On average, GIT produced inventory to sales ratio by over 10% over the last decade. So it has been proven to be the best in the inventory system in the car industry. Reduction of warehouse space of inventory, the other benefits, reduction of construction overhead, better technology can change system between supplier and production manufacturing department can integrate, reduction in wrecking errors for formula duplications, reduction in cost from quality control, as well as elimination of the cost. And then integration cost of GIT system, the downside is costly because not all systems are integrated. I remember when I used to work for BMO, RSA, Termscanner, there's a number of, in terms of accounting system itself, they have quite a number of them. And then they have a different platform like say policy system, claim system, finance system, and then others system as well, back office system. So this has to be integrated. The integration cost is not cheap, it's expensive because the system may not be able to talk to each other. You have to bridge it into a different platform. The best example, the IFRS project. When I was working for about 3 years there in multiple companies, and all of them has to be put in a platform. From that platform, we're gonna pull the data on. A shortage could lead to sales of slow growth, unforecasted increase in sales, inability to keep up with the demands, unforecasted decrease in sales. Inventory can pile up during the recession. So you do not want to have high inventory because it's very costly. Revaluation may be needed in high growth industry fostering dynamic technologies. Okay, that's the key part. That's the key part, guys. Make sure the cost of inventory has to be kept as minimal as possible. You need to be able to turn up the product that are good in terms of sales. Okay, All right, basically this concludes this chapter 7. Make sure, I hope you enjoy it. We're going to discuss again in the next chapter. Thank you, everyone. Hope you, I'll post this in YouTube as well as in Edpuzzle so you can continue to learn this part of particular subject. Thank you. Bye bye.